Hello, dear.
Hi.
So, you feeling good about this? Considering we started the recording with, before we started recording with the comment from me that I need you to talk louder and breathe softer.
I'm still not sure how to breathe softer. I can be loud,
I know.
even though people laugh at me when I say that my dentist once told me that I have a small mouth.
Is that a... Okay, that's true.
I think it's just that my teeth are cramped inside my mouth, but I can project.
Yes. Well, that's good. That's a good quality to have
Yeah.
for an accountant. All that public speaking you do.
Very little.
Yeah, I know. So, anyway, here we are.
Back again.
Back again. How was your week?
It was okay. I could have done without this cruddy weather.
We're under like our third or fourth day this week of wind advisory.
Yeah. But surprisingly, the wind hasn't been the worst part of my week with the weather.
You're talking Tuesday as far as the
Yeah.
the snow, ice, then rain.
It was the back parking lot at work essentially became a slushy moat
Yeah.
because there's a slight slope towards the building.
That's not slight, by the way. That is a pretty big, not like
seems,
drastic, but
it seems slight
yeah, until it's covered in
until
slush
it's
and ice.
covered in slush, and you realize that as things melt, it collects there, like because of the curve of the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And so it must have been like 2 feet wide, 1.5 to 2 feet wide.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, normally when the plow guy comes, because the snow came down like very quickly Tuesday morning.
It did.
And I want to say it was probably like mid-morning when, first off, none of the roads were plowed, so I'm not going to there's nothing against the plow guy that comes to plow our private building parking lot. Because
we're not going to rip the crap out of this guy who doesn't listen to this show.
I don't even know who he is. But like the
Stephen McGillicuddy, that piece of crap. No, we're not doing that.
No. Not when the
It's not his.
Not when the government employed plow truck drivers had no interest in plowing the roads because school had been canceled.
Not for me, it hasn't.
K through 12 school had been
There you go.
canceled. Anyway, so normally when we have, it was probably a good 6 to 8 inches of snow, all
Probably.
ultimately, and maybe not quite that. I might be exaggerating slightly, but it was enough that it needed to be plowed. And normally, whenever there's a significant amount of snow and the plow guy comes, he will come in and ask us to move our vehicles so he can get the entire parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
He did that for the front of the building, but not the back of the building. And because the only other people that park in the back that are in the building is a physical therapy place at the other end of the building that closed because of the weather.
Yeah.
It was probably from the end of the building, 6 spots. Down 6 spots that hadn't been plowed because of where 3 cars were parked, including mine, which is a Subaru, so I shouldn't have had any issues. But I go to leave then at the end of the day, and because after it snowed, it warmed up and rained all afternoon. It was the consistency of a slushie.
Yeah.
And me and one of the other ladies could not get any traction whatsoever to back up the slight slope. The other lady, fortunately, she parks right on the end when you come around the building. So eventually she was able to and she was backed in. So her back end was against the building. not against it, but towards the building. So she was able to kind of like turn enough eventually to get to the side where there had been plowed pavement and get traction. But meanwhile, fortunately, one of the guys was in the office who sometimes works from home. So, and had it been as bad as it was, like before he left for work, probably would have worked from home because of the weather. So fortunately, he was there and came out and helped us. And I finally had to get out. I got out because every time I would back up, my front end would slide. So I was eventually parallel with the sidewalk.
Okay.
And from the sidewalk, leaning over the 1.5 to 2 foot slush moat, he gave me enough momentum from a push to give me enough momentum to eventually get through all the slush and get onto the plowed pavement. I was half tempted to cut into my sandbag in the back of my car that has been there for 5 years.
Yeah, you're the only person I know that keeps their winter sand in their car year round in case there's that freak July snowstorm.
You never know who's going to take it out.
Well, normally I would, but I spent that 2 years or year and a half.
Yeah, not feeling well, so it stayed there.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had work that day. We had school that day. It was interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
A lot of people somewhat confused, but I got through it. Got through it. Although I had a little. I was on the flat, luckily, but they had plowed us in.
Yeah.
Because I got there pretty early. And but what can you do?
Yeah, and like you said, now we are here in our third wind advisory of the week.
Yeah.
And this afternoon?
I am genuinely surprised, and it might be next week's podcast will start with me cursing out the electric company, that there hasn't been more problems.
Well, I did find it interesting that they felt the need to post on their Facebook page. If your power goes out, don't rely on your neighbor to call. Make sure you contact us. To which I commented to you, are they concerned about their infrastructure? And you said yes, probably.
Oh, I think it's a twofold thing. I think it's concerned about their infrastructure and the fact that most people will just assume other people are going to do the job for them and just sit there and do nothing.
Yeah.
Because it's absolutely the mentality.
It shouldn't be the mentality.
No, I don't understand.
Take action.
I got a call the other day. Talk about taking action and how things and it's not necessarily like power, but for power it affects everything else with this too. But our friends down in Bedford had no internet.
No internet. Jeez, you would not survive.
No, I was having anxiety because their internet was down.
You were having sympathy anxiety?
Yes. I genuinely felt bad. Like, I was nervous. I called to make sure it came back online for them at some point.
Considering you purposely bought a generator that may or may not currently work to make sure that you could plug
the Starlink and plug the Wi-Fi.
Satellite and Wi-Fi routers into something to not lose internet.
Yeah. It's a great generator once I get it working again, because I had to sit for too many years not being sick. I think it's the fuel line.
Replaced. Which I still lobby that take it to a professional.
I was going to call your brother.
Okay.
But yeah, no. With that, I can power the blower on the wood burner to heat the house, and I can get the internet going. What else do I need?
Which of those two things is more important?
Internet.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I can heat a part of the house with the fireplace going, just the fireplace. It doesn't need the blower.
You mean the basement?
That's part of the house. It is still within the confines of the house. Roll out the sleeping bags and the cot.
Yeah.
But we'll have internet.
Yeah.
You have to have internet.
You don't.
You do. The sad thing is when I talked to him down there in Bedford, well, it wasn't that big of a deal, but it's their TV, it's the internet, it's the email, it's the business. We read and talked to each other.
I'm going to put this out. I don't need the internet.
This is horrible. It sounded horrible. This is what
What do you think I do when I come home? When I'm being quiet over in my corner of the couch?
I'm talking about how this impacts me.
You could read. I could teach you how to knit. Well, not knit, but loom or crochet and give you a craft to do.
We want to avoid that at all costs.
You have models you could put together.
Yeah, we want to avoid, especially the crocheting or anything, at all costs.
Why?
Because I have that type of personality that once I start doing something, I won't stop. We'll have a blanket. You'll come back one day when I hit summer break and I'm not teaching. At the end of summer, we'll have a blanket to throw over the property. Both houses. Just
I think
boom,
that's ambitious.
tarped.
I think that's ambitious, and I think it would really just be a really, really, really long, chain.
That'd be fine.
I'd teach you how to do the beginning chain,
Okay.
and you would just keep going.
I could decorate the power lines in the neighborhood. No, this is the problem. This is why you have to have. I gotta be plugged in. Gotta be connected. There's shows to do.
That tree outside is really swaying.
It's waving. It's cheering you on.
Me personally?
Oh, I can't see it. It's my back's to it.
Oh, okay.
So I got to go back to work.
Yeah.
That was fun.
How'd that go? Long
Good.
week?
Getting used to the new schedule week, which is always trickier.
Yeah.
But it's good. My Monday, Wednesday classes are kind of right in line.
Well, you've been teaching that class for a while.
Yeah. And then back in geography again, which is nice.
Yeah.
It was like I wasn't like I don't want to say hard Tuesday, but it was kind of like coming back and with how much that department has always meant to me and just been there and that it was nice to be back. I picked on the poor girl.
Of course you found somebody to pick on.
No, it wasn't her fault. It's just there's a lot of people who get it from me that it's absolutely their fault. But no, I pointed out because I always tell my story and I said to her I said you in the back, the far corner, I was you, except this room faced the other way and upstairs in this class.
Because you sat in the back of the room?
I sat in the back corner, right by the door. Remember he had a door came in from Bill's office?
Quick out.
Yeah. So I said that was my seat 23 years ago.
Well,
but I always like that too. I always like that intro geography course. It's such a nice mix. It's education, it's engineering students, it's
communication majors.
Well, that wasn't that. There none. Yeah, there. You know what though? There is. And oddly enough, in my micro apps class, I have a theater major.
Really?
Yes.
How'd that happen?
Don't know. I think there's a sub focus. I think there's a minor or something in something businessy. I don't remember.
I was gonna say, aren't those usually specifically like business?
Not always.
Students?
Not always.
I know, but primarily.
Yeah. So that's kind of neat. But I always
those of us who are in business like it when they know how to use Office programs.
Yeah. But I always like the other people with the educational diversity of that one, where everyone has a little different major and stuff, and I can kind of
I could see that
play into
because you don't when it's all the same thing. It's hard to like draw in, like whenever they all have something different, you can like draw in like a specific group and kind of make them feel special for a day or something.
Yeah. Well, it's I know how to. There's different avenues to approach a topic.
Yeah.
But that was nice. Still working on getting my office cleaned out and fixed up and stuff. I got the picture of me and Molly printed out that one you took.
The one where I cut off Molly's head.
Yeah, but I got a nice 8.5 by 11 sitting
Still a
on my
good
desk.
picture.
Hmm?
Still a good picture.
It is a good picture. But I got that sitting on my desk now, and got my little coffee machine. And
Yeah, because you decided you needed caffeine.
yeah, it helps.
I'm surprised you haven't had trouble sleeping. Adding caffeine. Because we like ginger ale doesn't have, it doesn't have caffeine in it,
No,
right?
I don't believe ginger ale.
So like you're adding caffeine in when you don't normally.
But I'd also drink like a pot of tea a day.
Oh. I was unaware of that.
Oh, yeah. I'd be
So.
So, no, my
That
caffeine
has
level has
caffeine in
not.
it.
And the tea I drink.
Well, yeah, because
Iced tea and
you
stuff.
do like. Oh yeah, that would have caffeine
Yeah.
in it.
Oh, yeah, no, I have not stepped away from the caffeine.
Yeah.
Mentioning ginger ale, I'll have a larger story, but I think we should take a moment of silence.
They raised the price back up.
Yeah, the ginger ale sale is over.
It's no longer 99 cents.
It's 3 something.
That's a big jump.
Well, that's what all the other 2 liters were. There was just something about this ginger ale that was it. It was dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never did check the date on it. Maybe it was like
Don't care.
getting
Don't care.
close to the Best By date or something.
Well, we'll find out as we keep working through our stock.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you that it's going to get a little dicey around here as we start running out of it.
That was so convenient because I wouldn't have to include it in my grocery order.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm talking from the standpoint of like if like I see like a little bit in the cup you leave like or whatever. You have a tendency to leave like a eighth of a cup of something in the refrigerator.
And then I eventually drink it. I drink it the next day.
Most time I end up doing that.
Because you do it while I'm at work before I get home.
Yes.
But I put it in there with the intention of drinking it the
one
next day.
sip. It's one little glip and you're done.
No, I don't let myself.
Yeah. Justify keeping this.
I try not to drink anything after like 9 o'clock in the evening because I don't want to have to get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night.
But why don't you just drink it in the morning then?
I don't drink anything in the morning before I go to work.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
Well, no, that doesn't count. That's my breakfast.
Yeah, but it's still liquid. Throw a ginger ale chaser on with the after the shake.
After
breakfast.
the coffee flavored protein shake?
Yeah, why not?
I don't think that would go.
I don't think any of it goes, but it would just save me from having to figure out what to do with a cold glass.
Let it sit there until I get home from work. Because then my glass is nice and chilly.
No, we
and
established.
I fill it up and I'm good to go.
We established Wednesday that this. I was going to say you have to spend some time, but we established Wednesday when you were the only person here between 2 houses.
Yeah.
And it was odd that the role reversal where I was the one who left in the morning for the day, and you were the one who did here with your little.
Okay, so first off, this was Wednesday, right?
Yes.
And your
In
two
your little
classes,
office.
your 2 classes that you teach start at 2.
Yes.
So you willingly left the house at 10
I had stuff to do.
ish to
Work at my job.
no to go to your office on campus
And do work.
but not related to campus,
It may have been that day.
simply to avoid the cats being annoying.
Well, you were also home.
Watching an 8-hour continuing education seminar.
Yeah, which you get loopy on. But when I have walked into those when you've been doing them here,
Yeah.
there's nothing they could do to spice any of that up. Something.
No. Like the one I was doing the other day was like tax changes.
Yeah, but you could at least try to have some interest or passion about it. The guy was a human yawn.
I'll let them know next time I do one that you don't like Bob.
I have notes.
I think his name was Bob.
Didn't even take time to learn his name.
It's the same ones over and over. One's Bob and one's I don't know, but he kind of looks like a Q-tip. I just can't remember what his name is right now. And then there's this. Some of them have this lady who's from New Jersey who has a clear New Jersey accent.
See, that would be fun.
It's not.
Okay. Well, more fun than Bob or Q-Tip Man.
No, Q-tip. I wish I knew what his name was.
Why? No. Q-Tip Man is going to be it forever.
He does the audit ones. He actually does because he gets into like telling stories and stuff like that too. But it's when you're trying to get through so much in a quote unquote 8 hours. There's not a lot of time for spicing it up.
I'm just saying, there's always room. But it was odd that you kind of had the supervision of everything going on.
Yes, I was left in charge of determining whether or not it got too windy for the cars to be parked in view of trees.
Yes. This is the best part. And it is even funnier because I was sitting in the office with somebody who I know is going to listen to this, who was laughing about the fact that you were texting me about trees and whether or not you should keep the fire going, and I wasn't here.
I wasn't asking you whether or not I should keep the fire going. I was just keeping you updated on what the current temperature was and where the airflow of the furnace was. Just keeping you updated.
Okay.
Because I'm nice like that. Because before I had done that, you had prompted me to make sure that I kept the fire going.
Because I didn't want you to forget and freeze upstairs.
Right. So I thought that meant that you wanted updates.
No.
So that's on you.
I never
first
want
off.
updates.
Second, I wasn't actually paying attention to the trees outside.
I know you weren't.
Because I was listening to Bob.
What else is on your list?
Oh, we had a comment from a listener
Okay.
this week about wondering.
We should do a feedback section. But, I mean, it's fine for
Do you
today.
want to come up with some sort of jingle on the spot so that we could
No, I'll work on something, though.
Okay, you work on that. Because his request that can we be calling, and my answer would be no, but you had to tell him we could make that work.
We can make it work. I have the technology and the internet.
Anyway. So, in response to our discussion last week about what's the point of having to be able to parallel park, he thinks kids should learn how to write in cursive. Because if they don't, how do they sign their name?
Okay.
So I did some research.
Oh, nice. I don't disagree with that concept at all. The impartial survey I've done with parallel parking in the last week is I had a split. Now, one person agreed with me and the other one did not, or us, that parallel parking wasn't needed, although that one person did live in New York City for a lengthy period of time.
So, apparently, at some point around 2010, the requirement to teach cursive in school went away.
In Pennsylvania. Was it a state thing or was
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
The requirement
Okay.
to teach it. Now, since when was this? Hold on. Since 2016, 23 states have gone over the years, have gone back and now are making it a requirement again.
Okay.
Pennsylvania is one of 5 that is working on legislation to make it a requirement.
Okay.
But apparently it doesn't matter. Because I did further research. Because his argument is, how do they sign their name if they don't learn cursive? Sorry, I have to find the other tab. According to thelawinsider.com.
Okay. Oh, we're now citing our sources, too. Wow. This show has gone pretty mainstream in 3 episodes.
I don't know how legitimate these sources are.
No one ever does.
It's the internet.
It's fine.
But apparently Googling is my superpower.
We're not going to get into that one.
An appropriate signature means the legal signature of the client, which may consist of names, words, symbols, marks, encrypted signatures, and electronic signatures. So they could simply draw a smiley face
That's not...
that they have established as being their unique signature.
Yeah.
And that is how they sign things.
Well, that's not... That's... You see, this is a failing in your education because you didn't watch enough old movies where that was always the when folks didn't learn to write because they were, in the Old West and stuff. Yeah.
They would make their mark. No, I'm well versed. I'm well aware of that being a thing.
Yeah. The digital signature, I think, is more interesting because I get that on forms where you just type your name in and it makes a little fake signature thing.
Yeah. But I would also argue with this listener, can he write his name in cursive?
I'm sure he can.
And if he did, wouldn't anybody recognize it as his signature? Because I would bet that he doesn't handle a lot of the banking.
Well, no one can recognize my signature.
Because it's just a squiggle.
Yeah.
So it's not like none of it's legible. So you being able to write in cursive means nothing.
No, it's just how I write my signature. When you write it as much as I have in my life, every 2 weeks doing bills for the borough,
Yeah.
I wrote my signature a lot.
Oh, no. I have realized that my signature has gotten worse and worse over the last couple of years.
Well, that's going to be the big thing here we're going to talk about. But, well.
But, I mean, no, I did see one article that talked about, like, writing in cursive may actually be quicker than, like, printing.
It's supposed to be, yes.
So it would argue that if schools are teaching cursive, then they are teaching students to be more efficient.
Okay.
Which I would think would be a benefit.
I would tend to think so. My printing is also very aggressive. Mostly because if I have to actually take the time to write something, it's probably annoying me.
But along the lines of requiring the teaching of cursive, I think they should also go back to, because I didn't look this part up, but I don't know how much it is a requirement for schools, states, whatever in their education. Typing.
I would think that typing it would also. I can't imagine they'd remove. Have they?
Not as I wouldn't imagine that they've removed it as an option, but I would be. I don't know that it's still a requirement everywhere.
I don't know. If only we had access to a 14-year-old, we could ask.
We'll have to do that.
Okay, that's your homework assignment.
My homework assignment.
So what did we learn?
But I mean, well, you teach.
Yes.
You teach office.
Yeah.
Do all of them type well?
I don't pay that close of attention. No, nothing I teach. And the serious answer is nothing I teach requires that much typing. I'm not having them reproduce documents. They're using existing things and creating out of that.
So you're teaching formatting more than you're teaching
the using of the tools, not creating a document.
Mm.
Yeah.
See, I think schools should teach kids how to like type a resume and stuff like that too, but that's just me.
Yeah. But that's not what I would be teaching. But so you'll follow up with the 14-year-old. So what did we learn?
If I remember, I probably won't remember.
Parallel parking still bad. Should be teaching cursive. You can comment into the show. We will do research and probably heckle you for your question. Well, at least half the show will.
Hey, I mean, I don't know what to do with that. I can't argue with that.
Okay, good. So, what else do we have this weekend? We were going to watch the football game. That's out of the window now because
Well, so this goes with so we're going to go back to weather.
the continuing disappointment that is the state of New York.
And weather.
And weather.
Apparently, they're forecasted to get quite a substantial snowstorm, which has caused the Steelers-Bills game to get moved to Monday. But I proposed to you last night that after watching the Levitard show, where they were complaining that the Chiefs-Dolphins game is going to be played in negative degree weather, that they should just move football season so weather isn't an issue, and have football season be spring and summer instead of fall and winter.
Well, no. Last night you suggested that the Super Bowl would be Christmas Day or New Year's Eve.
So fall. Well,
spring
no.
and like summer and fall.
Get it done earlier.
Yeah, get it done a month. Move everything up a month. So
Which essentially get rid of preseason and make those regular games. Like keep the games, make them regular games.
Yeah, or preseason starts in June.
Yeah, so that you're ending the season.
Or starts in July.
Before
so August 1st
gets cold. Before it gets to the possibility of negative degree temperatures. So I am really disappointed that they moved the Steelers-Bills game because I just love the amusement of a game played in a lot of snow.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's a little more practical than what the Levitard show put out of their clip from like a year ago saying if you can't build a dome over your stadium in Buffalo, don't have a football team. Which was a little excessive.
That's a little going to extremes, yeah.
But
or have them play in the hockey arena.
Just have them play hockey. Just like suit up. Like, hey guys, we got to do this. Here you go. Got to play hockey. So yeah, no Steelers game till Monday. So that should be great. I'm sure that'll go over fantastic with a lot of people.
Why? People use it as an excuse to not go to work on Monday.
I know. Nah, it's just a weird kind of thing, especially if you were planning your weekend around what very well could be the only playoff game for the Steelers this year.
You're talking about people who are going to be disappointed that they're not at home watching it, or people who are going to the game?
At home.
Okay. Because people who are going to the game are just ridiculous.
They're going to go anyway. And the weather of Monday doesn't look that much better anyway in Buffalo, so I don't know.
No, I'm just thinking if they were complaining because they aren't stuck going to a football game with a potential of 1 to 3 feet of snow. Like,
yeah, but
I don't know what to do for
like
you.
you mentioned, it's still going to be like 25 or 30 degrees warmer than Kansas City's going to be.
Which I don't get.
I don't know. It's Kansas. Also brings to point, I just want to remind people that we are in the dark times with no raising yet.
Oh, your dark time.
Yes. I had a student that shared that pain with me.
For anybody who needs clarification on that, the dark time is roughly mid-November through roughly Valentine's Day.
Yes.
When there is no NASCAR.
Yes. It's very disappointing.
Yet somehow you survive every year.
I don't know. It's a myth.
That you survive?
It's a myth by people who keep seeing me alive.
I'm staring at you right now.
Maybe I'm a swaying tree. I don't know. No, so it's just, anyway, that's fun. And I went to Giant Eagle this morning to get my prescriptions and pretty much ran from the store screaming. I couldn't find anything in Giant Eagle that was less than $5.
Then you didn't look hard enough.
Well, I mean, like that would have been real. Like, okay, I came across one thing that was less than $5. Salad dressing was 3 something. That is not a meal.
No, it's not. You're correct.
It's not even a soup.
Huh?
Like, you can't even heat up salad dressing and it'd be soup.
That would be disgusting. Thanks for that.
There you go. Did we hit everything on your list, dear?
I have a bunch of other stuff, but we don't.
Anything that won't wait?
Anything that's time sensitive? I don't know.
Well,
What?
I think the biggest time sensitive one is by the time we do a next podcast, you will have entered another decade of existence.
Oh, we don't really have to talk about that, though.
It's going to happen.
Us talking about it, or it's going to happen. My birthday's going to happen no matter what.
Well, your birthday's going to happen no matter what. And I'm trying to gauge how much of the rest of my day is going to go if I force this conversation.
No, you can go ahead with the conversation. I don't know how I feel about it.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
I thought I took both 30 and 35 well.
Yeah.
You did not.
I didn't handle 30 well.
And
40 kind of surprised me.
well, 40 was kind of overshadowed.
No, I mean, the fact that there was a 40 kind of surprised me.
Okay. So, I don't know. I guess we'll find out Wednesday how it hits me.
Yeah.
I don't know. My mom felt the need to mention it at one point, and then I informed her that, well, now she will have 2 children over the age of 40, so I don't know what that means for her.
This is great. We finally hit this rhythm. I think I know which one of us is the Curry and which one of us is the Dvorak of this podcast.
I don't know what that means.
Your snark level is great. But no, it's going to be your birthday, so if anyone sees you on Wednesday, should tell you happy birthday.
Or you could just ignore it.
Well, no, that's me making sure I tell you happy birthday on Wednesday. It's a mental reminder.
Okay. Let me know how that goes.
Probably poorly.
I think my mom's finally figured it out. She's cracked the code. That my birthday is the 17th and not the 19th. Got a system for it now.
Is there anyone on the 19th?
One of my cousins, I think. Yeah.
No, I mean any month, because Lynn's is the 19th.
No, Lynn's is the 4th. No, nobody's is on 19th.
No.
Like I said, I think one of my cousins might actually be January 19th, but
Well, then we go forth to another week of adventure.
yeah. Hopefully no further wind advisories.
And that
Like just snow. We don't need the wind too. I don't mind the snow.
yeah.
What made Tuesday bad was the rain on top of it.
The snow, then the rain, and then and then the wind. Yeah.
Snow can be moved.
So, all right. So, have a great week, dear.
Yeah, you too.
Same thing with everyone out there, whether you're listening in Blairsville or Florida or wherever you happen to be, Q-Tip Man.